Hi, good morning. This is Elaine Dusatzina once again. I'm so sorry about earlier. I'm having technical difficulties, and we're just gonna go. We're just gonna do this right now. If this is your first time tuning in, my name is Elaine Dusatzina. This is Featured Friday Conversations, where I feature incredible women and their journey towards better health. If this is your first time tuning in, go ahead and say hello. And while you are doing that, I'm going to go ahead and bring in my guest because, I'm 15 minutes late. And this is Naza Holliman. Naza, thank you for being so patient. I'm so sorry about all of these technical difficulties. It's not anything that I've experienced before.
No problem.
But I want to go ahead and start reading
I have
your
a little bit
bio.
of
I'm sorry?
a hard time hearing you here. I think our connection's still off.
Can you hear me better now?
Yes,
Okay.
much. Hi, Elaine.
Hi. All right. Woo! Anyway, let me go ahead and
Yes, we're here.
let me go ahead and read your bio, and then we can start from there.
Sure.
All right. Naza is the creator and writer of the Sweet Pea blog, Sweet Pea and Sky blog, and the owner of Holliman Marketing, founder of SPS Playdates, and founder of the LA Mommy Blogger Tribe. She is also a wife, a mother of two, an adventurous spirit who is ready to take on the world. It's Naza's strong belief that motherhood was never meant to be done in isolation. Yet so many women go through it alone, guilt-ridden, exhausted, and mentally drained. I can definitely connect with that. She has made it her mission to connect moms in fun and easy ways to help alleviate motherhood, loneliness, and isolation. Through playdates with SPS Playdates, through fun, meaningful outings with the LA Mommy Blogger Tribe, as well as through her own adventures with her family, Naza is helping moms find their community and tribe. And I think this is your quote. Gathering with like-minded women who understand the depths of motherhood helps each and every one of us thrive in both mind and spirit. Naza, thank you again for coming to the show and sharing your story with us.
Sure. I love it. It does. So I'm excited.
Okay. I'd like to start with what your life was like before you had kids. Do you want to go ahead and share with us like how where you worked, like how your life was with either before you got married or
Sure.
after you got married, before you had kids?
For kids, adventurous, and I'm a very social person. I realized I and connecting with people. So I was social. I was active. I loved exploring. I still love exploring. So when it popped up, I was there. At the opening night, if there was an art exhibit, anything new and fun that I could explore, I did. I traveled, and my husband's the same. So we had a lot of fun before kids, just out and about and either traveling and exploring or our own city. Um, at the drop of a dime, get up and say, you know what, let's do this. We heard about something fun and we just get up and go and do it.
Mm-hmm.
So I worked. I did marketing. I had some of my own clients, and then I also ended up working for a dental group and running their marketing for 3 of their offices. And this was all before kids, five, and then fun after that. Um, and obviously that all changed with kids. So
Yeah.
there's a lag.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I know. I'm so sorry. I'm trying to like make sure that we can catch at least most of the things that you're saying. And I understand every word you said, but it's still kind of like lagging a little bit.
Okay.
Anyway, yeah. So you loved going on adventures, and this is before you had your children. And when did you get pregnant with your first child?
I got pregnant 4 months after my husband and I got married,
Okay.
and he won't let me go down. I was so I never wanted kids until he proposed to me. So the minute he proposed, I was like, I want children. And so when we got married, we decided we were going to start trying right away.
Mm-hmm.
We figured it would take us about a year or two to get pregnant, and it took 4 months. We got pregnant right away. We had our little boy right away. Yeah. It was quick. It happened fast.
Yeah, it's funny that you're like planning for a year and then all of a sudden, whoop, I'm pregnant. I think it's the same thing that happened with me and my husband, but we
Yeah.
actually waited.
It was exciting, though.
I'm sorry.
I said it was exciting, though. It was fun and so quick. But our plans were for a much later date. So it never quite worked out the way you planned.
Right. So when you got pregnant, did you have like mommy friends already, or all your friends still or single or married, just married without any kids?
Pretty much all of my friends were free. Nobody had children.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think anyone was married at the time yet. Yeah, I think I was the first one to get married
Mm-hmm.
and have a kid. Um, I had one friend who had maybe like a 7-year-old, but her daughter would go with us for weekends where she would, be with her dad. Then my friend would be single. So,
Right.
but there was no one with infants or kids that age. And throughout my pregnancy, it was funny. I couldn't put a finger on what I needed.
Right.
But I know I would look into like meetup groups online, but there weren't any for like pregnant mommies. There
Mm-hmm.
was more like stroller groups, and so I couldn't find anyone. And later in my pregnancy, I found out that my cousin as well, and we had the same due date.
Oh,
So that was a huge relief, huge relief. But we didn't get the chance to see each other that much, so it was still a little lonely.
yeah. It definitely gets lonely. I mean, the pregnancy, like when I got pregnant, I was still in the military, and I mean, it was, most of my friends were guys, so none of them had
Yeah.
kids. None of them had kids either, so it was kind of like hard to relate. So let's move on to when you had your first child, and that's I'm assuming P is what's your first child's name?
Princeton.
Princeton. Okay. Yeah, when you had Princeton, what was that like?
Um, my world was turned upside down.
Mm-hmm.
There's the usual things that you prepare for, like the sleepless nights and the exhaustion. You kind of know that that's going to be rough. Your life's going to be all about the baby. And so those things I prepared for, and I kind of, it went with the territory. I think what I wasn't aware of was the isolation that comes with motherhood, especially at the early stages. Um, because, initially we were getting visited every day. Friends would come over, relatives, and for about my husband was also home from paid family leave. So it was actually nice. The first 6 weeks and it was a breeze because there's so many people around me. But that dies down. And so, people have seen your baby, they think, you probably have it now, 6 weeks in, and they stop coming. They don't really see you as much. My husband went back to work, and at the time he was working for the Dodgers, his first late, or, so he would just be gone, and then he'd be home for weeks at a time as well, whenever they'd be away. But when he was gone, it was difficult. I was home alone in babyland, I call it. Lovingly called it babyland. And it was and the baby and no one else. And it just got isolating and lonely. And I was also, I guess you would say I was more homebound. I had a C-section, so it wasn't as easy. I wasn't allowed to, carry a lot or too much because I had to heal. So it got really difficult. And being the spontaneous, adventurous person that I was used to being, even while pregnant, that aspect kind of was gone for me now. So I felt like I lost myself a little bit, and my freedom a little bit, and my friends a little bit. And so, they didn't understand where I was in life at the moment because they didn't have small kids. So it was rough for a couple of weeks there.
Oh my gosh, it's very relatable. First of all, I wanted to say hi to Heather. Heather is she Heather Neves? Do you know her?
Yes, Heather Nieves. She is a wonderful, wonderful, definitely someone you should interview one day. And I can't see the Facebook Live comments, so I'm sorry, I can't read anything.
She waved hi and she said hi, mamas. Hi, Heather. Thank you for tuning in. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Everything you said is pretty much what I feel like I experienced as a first-time mom. My daughter is now turning 8, but like I said, I was in the military, and when I got pregnant, I decided it was going to be time for me to leave because my husband's also active duty. And when I had her, it was, I had my in-laws and then my mom, and then he was home. But then, like, weeks later, he had to go away for, like, weeks at a time, like he said, like your husband did as well.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? I'm by myself, I don't work anymore, and I don't have any mommy friends. And I was just like, and I'm sort of like an introvert, so I kind of like I kind of just was sort of comfortable staying at home, but then I felt lonely. I had no one to talk to. I had no one that I can relate to. Yeah. So
and see that's what I think about motherhood is. The beautiful thing about it is when I talk about this, even to my husband, he can understand, but he can't relate. And so, but any mother, any mom I mention that, initial loneliness or not having your tribe or your community around you, every mom understands exactly that, and I don't even have to really explain it too much. They just know, just like you, because we all went through it.
Yeah, and it's interesting because, I never really wanted to admit that I was lonely. It's like something that I just sort of kept to myself, and I'm like, but I knew I had to find a way somehow to, to connect with others. And I guess you can tell your story as to how you did that. You started your own play group, it sounds like.
So, I think, just like you said, you never want to admit the negative things that come with motherhood. And there are some, and you don't admit it because I think people without children won't understand and kind of look at it like there's just a stigma. You're a mother, you wanted this. You're a mother, you were blessed to have this child or children, and there's people out there who can't have them, and so you can't complain. But the thing is, they don't understand that you can absolutely adore your little ones, and they are your world, but you know what? You do need a break sometimes, and while you adore them, they do drive you insane sometimes, and sometimes the or you it's the only person that can do it is another mom that says, "Girl, I understand. I have the same." And so, with that said, I at the time I didn't. It took me a while to really be down, and how much it was affecting my my mental health. I guess I'm stuck at home. I have no one really to talk to, and sure, I have people that I went to work with, and people still call and check in on me, but it's just not the same. I can't call a friend who doesn't have kids and drag my kid with me, and they'll because then I think all they're thinking is, why is the kid always with her? So little by little, it wasn't like a aha moment or anything. It just, as soon as my son turned 4 months, I was doing whatever he was old enough to do. So I would drag him to baby gym classes, and I'd look for, like, I'm going to meet mommy here. And it wasn't as easy because, baby gym classes, you're focused on your child. I started also looking into, like, mommy groups and meetups and play date groups. And the problem with those was when I had my first son, I did back to work. Those were on weekends. Most of them were during work days, during, office hours. So I couldn't make any of those. And at that point, while now I was having adult interaction, most of my coworkers also didn't have kids, or they had grown. Still, I'm home, and then I'd still be alone at the end of the day with my child, and I needed more. So eventually, I'm going to start my own little mommy group, and I started small, and I started with just friends, and I have a neighbor who has kids the same age, and I would run into her outside when I would go for a walk. And I swear, I think I was harassing her. But I needed a mommy friend, and luckily she did too. So our kids have grown up together, and, I would recruit her to every day I was having a little together. I'd be like, come with the kids, so that the kids could play together. And so it just kind of went from there. And then I created and from the blog I created the SES Play Dates, and it's been wonderful. I now have a circle of women around me and a support group, and wonderful mothers that I love, like Heather. And so I can't say that I need the play dates anymore. I keep it going because I know how badly other women need it, and so it's just fun just to see relationships and make friendships that way as well.
Yeah, it's very admirable that you're keeping it alive because you went through the same thing and you want to help other women, get over that feeling of like loneliness. And it's funny that you mentioned running to your neighbor and wanting to talk to her. I think I actually liked going to my kids' doctor appointments because it was a way for me to actually get out of the house and talk to someone else, talk to the doctor. I mean, I was just
get all dressed up and do my hair.
Yeah, exactly. So it gives me a reason to get out of the house. That's when my kids are like less than 1 year old. But yeah, and I decided I did find a play group too, and that was like changed my entire like how it's such a good feeling, like you said, to be able to relate to other moms, like how when you're having problems with your kids and maybe they're not, I don't know, they're throwing a tantrum, and you can just talk to the other moms about it, and they'll jump in and say the same thing of what their kids have been doing. It's like, oh, okay, it's not just me, some other moms are experiencing what I'm experiencing as well, and it's definitely helps your emotional health and your mental health as well, to have people surrounding you that you can connect with.
does. There's one other thing that I could think of, a positive about having mommy friends is us mommy friends, we flake a lot because you never know from one day to the next what you're going to be up to, if they're going to be sick or if they're going to be, throwing a tantrum, and they understand. You can call and say, you know what, I'm not going to be at your event because my kid, this happened, or you know what, I'm just exhausted. And they're never upset with you because they know next time it might be their kid that did this, that prevents them from going somewhere. So I also find that to be, for me, a relief because I with other friends, I feel guilty. If I can't make something, I feel horrible. And with my mommy friends, I know that they'll understand. Right. So it's definitely a relief in so many ways.
Yeah, definitely. Let's talk about so you started with a blog at first, right? You started your blog why did you start? Why did you, is that a sort of an outlet for you?
So a little background. Before I was married, I had my own marketing clients. I do marketing. Mm-hmm. And, we were going through the wedding. Dental group had approached to part-time work for them, and I thought this would be great, as an additional income to help, with the wedding. So I started working there part-time. It turned into a full-time. They grew huge, and they're wonderful. But it grew into a full-time job directing 3 offices, marketing departments. And so when I had Princeton, I did my maternity leave, and then I went back. The second time I had Scott, and it was hard. It was hard for me to go back because he was 4 months old, and I really drive at lunch just to catch a glimpse of him napping. So the second time around, I knew I didn't want to do that. I had 2 kids, and I didn't want to miss that lives. And I didn't know how I was going to, what to do. We couldn't make it on the income with 2. So I went back part-time, and at the same time I decided I was going to start taking on marketing that I could work from home with. And it worked well for months. It was great until the kids started catching colds and getting sick, and so I would miss weeks, days at a time because one kid would get sick, pass it on to the next. Now I have that one. Then I would get sick, so now I have to stay home. It was just too much, and luckily my employers were great. They always understood because they do have little ones. They always understood my position, but I felt it was starting to affect my work or lack thereof. So we were talking one day with one of my bosses, and he said, why don't you work from home? You have a home office, work from home, and well, he gave me that little push. I was scared to do it prior, but he gave me a little push, and so I started working from home, and that gave me so much more freedom to get out and explore and, do all the things that I love. So I would pack up the kids constantly and go on these, we'd go to museums or we'd go to fun things, and I would even take them to like adult exhibits that I wanted to see at museums, and, we would talk art and take pictures, and I always posted them on my Facebook and like my personal stuff. Right. And my friends would just start asking, well, did you like this one? Do you think it's kid-friendly? My inbox slowly but surely got inundated with questions. And I thought, well, why don't I get ahead of these things right? He knows my review, my opinion of this, and, it saved me some time. So I laid it out, and that's how the blog happened. Basically, it was just a log, and then, me documenting the things that we did. And through the blog, I met a lot of moms who needed that connection that I had needed, a year or 2 prior. And so that's where SPS Playdates came in. It just was one day I thought, why don't we host one big and have all these moms come and meet each other, and all the kids are about the same ages. So we did one big play date, and I got vendors to come and give, like we had a local author, a children's book author. He did a huge like story time for the kids. There was a vendor who does tea parties. So she did a tea party. So there was like little, stations for the kids to do things. And we had a blast. It wasn't huge, but it was a start. And so after that, we started doing them monthly. And I really enjoyed them because I like watching the same moms come back again and again and seeing how their relationships and friendships have grown and blossomed and how their kids are now friends. Right. And so it's super, but that was the
Well, it's great that you can, incorporate that into what you're doing. I think, because people have been asking you exactly, what your opinions are to the places that you visited, just being able to blog about it, and then I think you're getting something out of that too because you're using it as a market. It's like a part of marketing, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. So it's turned really into a business. It's funny because it was a passion project, and it's taking over my marketing business. So it's marketing, but now they're starting to crisscross a little bit, and so it's fun. It's a lot of fun.
It's great that you.
I want to say for the first time in life, truly enjoying my work.
Yeah, because
it didn't start out as work.
Right. Because now you have your kids with you, and you're doing. It's not really work, but it's kind of work, but you're doing it with your kids, and
right.
that you're getting to spend a lot more time with them.
Yeah, and we all get a lot out of it. We go to different events. We've gone to the circuit. I don't know, Troll Live. So many places that I've gotten to take the kids to because of the blog. Right. So it's really worked out better than I hoped.
Right. And how old are your kids now?
And
how old are your kids now?
They're 2 and 4.
Oh, okay, so you're still pretty young.
They are. They're little guys. They're a lot of work and they're a lot of fun. And we all have the days where we're overwhelmed and there's too much going on. But at the end of the day, I could not be more grateful for the opportunity to spend every day with them.
Oh yeah, definitely. I feel like I'm kind of like at that crossroads because I got out of the military to stay at home with my kids. Because like you, I didn't want to have to miss a beat with them. I know that my husband will be, gone weeks at a time, months at a time. But I wanted to be that stability for them, and I also didn't want to like you said. I want to just be with them and watch them grow, watch them take the first step, watch them, say the first word and everything. And I just don't want to miss anything. But now that they're getting older, I feel like, maybe I should go back to work. But I'm still kind of like, I don't know if I go back to work, I might miss something that they're doing, So it's kind of hard.
It's funny, I couldn't wait for my oldest to start preschool just to have, 3 hours a day to myself. And he's been in preschool since January. Now I find myself coming up with excuses to keep them home. And so, motherhood is strange. You miss them when they're asleep or when they're gone and then they're home and you're like, give me a break. I know what you mean. Going back to work means you might miss something and you don't want to miss any part of their life because it goes fast. They grow so quickly. So one of my favorite things and the most heartbreaking one is the one that says the days are long, the years are short. And it's so true. When we're in the heavy of it, hard and it's long and you can't wait for the day to be over so that they can go to sleep and you can have alone time. But when you look back, you know, my 4-year-old, I just had him. I literally feel like I just gave birth to this child. How is he 4 years old? So I think it's good to cherish them if you have the opportunity to.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, definitely. My daughter's almost 8, and my other one's almost 5, and I look at my oldest one, and I'm like, oh my gosh, how is she look like a grown up already?
Yeah.
I'm like, where has the years gone? And it gets very sentimental about it. And like you said, yeah, the years go by quickly.
Mm-hmm.
I don't ever want to miss a thing, but you have to balance it somehow, and
Yeah.
you'll have days when but I mean, I think it's part of it is like having your kind of like figuring out your identity as well, because I felt like part of my identity got lost
Mm-hmm.
when my children were born, because I was just so focused on like raising them, and just like all my efforts were for them. But now I'm just like trying to figure out who I am as a person and what I want to something else to bring to the table besides just being a mom. And I
Yeah.
think we all struggle with that.
But you're doing such a wonderful thing. I mean, I truly enjoy watching your interviews and the chats on Facebook, and I think you're doing a beautiful thing. And um, I think parenthood really opens doors that you wouldn't necessarily have thought of, you know, without children if you weren't a parent. So, I mean, look at where it's taken you,
Yeah.
and I think that's beautiful.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's very true. Thanks for pointing that out. Yeah, I don't. We're led to certain paths after we have kids. We're just realize I guess what's where we need to go, or what we should do after the fact. But so
Exactly.
hey, I wanted to ask you about Mount Whitney. Did you climb Mount Whitney last year?
We did, but we didn't summit. So one of my best friends and I, it was her idea. She had this um, before children. I used to love hiking,
Yeah.
and she doesn't have kids. She started her own business, and that's her baby. And so all of her time was just like me with all of her time her business, and she decided that she's gonna take time for herself. And so she planned this Mount Whitney trip, and my husband pushed me to do it. And he said, you haven't, this is something you love to do as well. You haven't taken time for yourself. Just go and do it. I have the kids. Um, so we went last June and we climbed Mount Whitney. It was snowing up there, and so weather conditions didn't permit us to summit. So we're actually trying it again this September,
Oh, fun.
and my husband's going to join us this time. Yeah. So we'll see. I hope. I said I am. This is an itch I couldn't scratch, and I'm going to keep trying until I summit.
Yeah.
So
That's
yeah, it's fun. It's nice to get out and be in nature.
Oh yeah, definitely. That's wonderful that you're doing that. My husband and I, well, my with my family, we were just camping in Bishop, up there. So it's just a little bit
Uh-huh.
past, because Mount Whitney you can access from Lone Pine, right? Is it Lone Pine or Big Pine?
Yeah. I have a question for you.
Yeah.
How old were your kids when you first took camping?
Oh my gosh. My first, I think she was only, gosh, was she walking already? No. I think she was maybe one. For my first one,
Really?
yeah, and then my second one, she wasn't. I think she was less than one. Yeah, yeah. We love
Oh my gosh,
I
kind. I keep thinking they're going to get scared. I don't know. So I
No, they
haven't
love
taken them
it.
camping yet.
My kids love it. We were just
Okay.
we went camping up in Bishop just over the Memorial Day weekend. I mean, they're older now, but
Oh, how fun.
we've taken them almost every year to like the Mammoth area, Mammoth Lakes area. We love going up there over the
Uh-huh.
summer, and then we're planning a big trip up to Oregon to go camping. So yeah,
Oh, that's going to be amazing.
yeah,
That would be great.
you should try it with your kids. I think they'll like it.
Yeah, I've taken them hiking on small hikes. We've even done a hike with SPS Playdates,
Oh, nice.
and that was a lot of fun. I don't know why I haven't taken them camping yet, but I think that's definitely, or it might even be a play date. That might be fun to go camping with moms and kids.
Yeah, you should. You should consider
Great
that
idea. Yeah.
because you're up in LA, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you're closer. You're closer to the mountains.
Hmm. Yeah. We have hiking all around us, actually, so we could even camp around here if we really wanted to.
um, let's see. I have a comment here from Sandy. She said that Naza, your kids would love it. We go to Lake Casitas. There's a water park.
Oh, I didn't know that, Sandy. Let's make a out of it. Princeton's been wanting to see Christian.
Yeah, she said that that would be fun to go camping.
So I met Sandy through SPS Playdates, and our boys really hit it off.
Yeah.
And her son's a little bit older, but my 4-year-old is like smitten with him. So
Yeah. I think
another successful story from the Playdates.
yeah, it's definitely. I think it's wonderful what you're doing and how you're giving other moms an opportunity to connect. So thank you for doing that. So you said you're also part of, or you're the owner of LA Mommy Blogger Tribe. Do you want to talk about that a little bit?
So I just started this. This is a brand new thing. I there's so many bloggers in Los Angeles, and I've been interviewed by a few of them. I've interviewed a few of them, and then I thought, why, every time I meet mommy bloggers, there's great information there, and it's even more of that same. We're even more alike. We have even more in common than just motherhood, because there's now this other aspect. We want the same thing. I thought, why don't we connect some of the local bloggers? And I literally went into for groups, found mom bloggers, and wrote them and said, I'm going to start this. I want to. Do you want to join? So we currently have 13 girls.
Wow.
We've had one event already, just a brunch to meet everyone. We'll be doing another one July 1st.
Mm-hmm.
And already, I came out of that brunch with some good information on my blog. So, and everybody's really supportive and wonderful, and everyone's so happy to be a part of this. So I have to say, it came out of, I'm enjoying it. It's just fun for me to do. And it's some me time. I get away and have brunch with the girls, and,
Right.
and network and create friendships. So it's fun and it's great. I love it.
Yeah, it's great that you're finding your niche and what you love doing. And this is work for you, but it's your passion now.
Yeah.
It's,
Yeah. I think it started as a passion or a passion project,
mm-hmm.
and all these little doorways that the blog has opened. It's just fun, and I can truly say I enjoy what I do, and it's not work for me. So
Yeah.
it's great.
Well, I'm so happy that we got a chance to connect. And I just for as a kind of like an ending to our interview, what is the one thing that you learned about yourself throughout this journey of yours from becoming a mom and starting like a community of other
Um,
moms?
there's so much I've learned from mom. Um, two things that really stand out. One very huge thing is I you don't until you can't until your escape is taken away from you. So how do I word that right? When you're sick and you have the flu, but you have two kids to take care of, you can't go up to your bed and, nap the entire day because you're sick. And so you find your strength to go on, and it's amazing how much strength you have. So I've literally gone through the flu where what I would have done in the past is just lock myself in my room for a couple of days, drink water and wake up through the flu, taking care of my kids, trying not to get them sick. And I was fine. And at the end of that flu, I thought, holy moly, I, I gave myself so many exit strategies before, and I'm not as weak as I thought. The children, they give you strength, and because you just have to go on, you can't take a day off. So I think that was one of the biggest things I've realized about myself through motherhood. And the other one was I realized how much we all need community. And I realized that, like you read in the bio, motherhood should not be done in isolation. It is not something that we do alone. We do not have to always our stuff together. And it's okay to reach out and say, I need help. Because if you don't have that, you know, especially like postpartum hits and, certain things can happen and everything weighs on you and you can't be alone in motherhood. You just can't. You need your community and people who understand you. You need your tribe. And so that was things I learned. So, and my advice for other moms is when you first have your infant, don't just have to focus on yourself and see what you're lacking. Make sure you give yourself that time as well. Like, see, okay, so maybe I need some guidance, or maybe I need someone to talk to, or maybe it's not any of those. You don't need other people, and you're fine being alone, but you need something else. But just constantly watch yourself and make sure that you are taking yourself and yourself so that you can. That's my last word of advice.
It's very powerful. Thank you so much for sharing that. I mean, sharing your story, and it's definitely everyone can relate to you and relate to your experience as a mom. And I definitely learned a few things about myself as well. And I love that how you put that your kids have given you strength that you never realized before. And I feel the same way. I mean, I feel like my kids have definitely given me that extra strength. That like you said, like you have being sick and being able to still be there for them. It's not easy, but you push
Mm-hmm.
through it, right? Because you know it's something that you have to do, and
Definitely.
and I think learning about that is what is pushing you right now. I mean, I see your success as a blogger and as a marketer, as being in marketing is because of your kids and how your kids have driven you to be, the best that you can be.
Yeah,
And thank you for sharing that
exactly.
with me. And
And thank you for
this is
saying that.
I think this is your husband. I'm gonna put this on. He said, Craig, right? Your husband? He said, the boys and I are so proud of you. Way to take a
I
pet
can't.
project and turn it into a huge resource for moms and create an arena for moms to come together and bond and share experiences and information.
Oh,
Thanks,
I love
Cliff.
him.
Thanks, Ian. That's very sweet of you. Um, well, it's been, gosh, 45 minutes. And I think we met over time because we had
I know.
issues with connectivity earlier, and there is still some time when there's issues, but I heard you okay, and I would just like to.
Good.
Do you want to talk about as to how people can contact you, where they can find you? I have your website on here, sweetpeandsky.com, but you're available elsewhere. I know.
I am. You can go to the website. It's sweet, just the letter P, not PEA.
Right, right.
Sweetpeandsky.com.
Mm-hmm.
You can email me at sweetpeandsky@gmail.com. If you're interested in the LA Mommy Blogger group, it's free for the time being, and you can email me at LAMommybloggertribe.com That's a new one. So,
That just for
um,
that's
I,
just for moms who are in LA.
I'm sorry, you're cutting out a little bit.
Oh, the LA Mommy Blogger Tribe. I'm assuming it's only for moms who live in LA.
Yeah, and who blog.
All right.
because, yeah, because it's local, so since we do their month, they have to be in the area.
Mm-hmm.
And they have to be moms and they have to be bloggers, but they don't have to be mommy bloggers. So their blogs, their kids, or, they could be makeup
Right.
blogs or whatever their heart desires, but they do have to be moms.
Okay, got it.
Um, that SPS Playdates, if you're interested in joining us, the Playdates are always free. We don't want to put an extra burden on new moms who have the additional, financial baggage, or not baggage, I don't know how to say this today, but an additional financial stress of a new baby. There you go. That's a better way to say it. So they're free. Come join us. We would love to have you. And you can go to facebook.com/sweetpeandsky. All the SPS Playdate information is on there. You can also go to find us on Instagram, sps.playdate. And Sweet Pea and Sky is also on Instagram. So
Fantastic.
I don't know if I gave that in the right order. It's kind of a lot of information.
I'll just put it on the show notes, and everyone can see where
Okay.
that is on Facebook. Again, thank you everyone for tuning in today. I know we had some technical difficulties in the beginning, but I think we're able to get on with the show, and there's still a little bit of lag, but I think you get the point of what Naza's story is all about. And so thank you. And this broadcast will be on replay, available on replay right after the show, in case you didn't see the beginning of it. Again, Naza, thank you so much for spending time with me and with my audience, and for sharing your story. And for everyone else, have a good weekend, and we'll see you next time. Thank you.